Hey, hello. This is Sheila Bicknell, Blue Water Oracle on a full moon Sunday. So it is just before 5 o'clock my time, Eastern time. I live in Western Quebec, so Eastern Canada. And I wanted to come on before I got busy with something else. I've had one of those around the home and running a few errands kind of day. So I wanted to come on, and I'm going to apologize in advance. As I look at the video, I think probably my camera is running a little slow. So if the sound and the video don't quite connect, then I apologize for that. It's a mental note that when I think I'm going to do a reading, an online live, I need to put my computer to sleep so that it rests, so that it's all lively and ready to go with us. But hopefully if you have a chance to pop on, that you are okay to listen or watch or whatever feels good to you. And it will be my pleasure to see you and to say hi at any point that you have a chance to touch base. So I do have the light on in the room I'm in now. There's also a lot of reflection off my glasses, so I know we can play with the light. And that's because we're having a really interesting day today. So this is my window right out there, so you can see the forest and the boxes of stuff I have. So, and a little poster right there, and a nice candle. Whoops, sorry. So, it is a gorgeous, what I think is a gorgeous full moon day in the summer. And what I mean by that is that we have had rain, we have had beautiful bright sun, we've had no wind at all, we've had lovely breezes, and we also now have very, very dark, deep clouds as we head into some more rain and possibly some thunderstorms. So I'm sure it's not fun for people who are trying to do outdoor activities or to get things done around the home or play with kids. But for me and for my purposes, it's been a lovely day. I had a chance to walk around my garden. Those who follow me on Blue Water Oracle, I do have a fairly wild garden. And so it's nice to have a look around. I got to see three different types of frogs actually. Or it may have just been a male, female of a leopard frog. So one was very bright green, and one was a much more muted tone. And then I have a green frog that seems to be, those guys were out in the garden. And then I have a green frog who seems to have taken up residence under one of my drain spouts where I have a water bucket to collect water after the rain. So he's hanging out there. So I wish him well. And I love seeing the wildlife. So I love seeing the frogs and the dragonflies, and there were chickadees, little cute northern birds that we have here who were very vocal. So we know also that when they become more vocal, it's because we're shifting a little bit the end of the summer here. Not fully end of the summer, because I'm in denial about that. But we are definitely changing seasons gradually, moving into the depths of summer, if you like. So I was very happy to walk around my garden and get to witness some of that. And when I did, it was very peaceful. So it was about mid-afternoon and nobody was mowing the lawn, nobody was chainsawing. So it was really a lovely, peaceful afternoon garden walk that I did. But before I got busy with other things, since it's almost 5 o'clock my time, and I'm doing some home errands, and I'm going to do a little bit of work later this afternoon, I wanted to touch base with you on this full moon. So again, if you're just joining me or if you're just tagging in, my apologies if my sound and my camera are a little bit off. I didn't turn off my computer, so it has a mind of its own at this point in its life. And there may be a little delay, so I apologize for that. Oh, hi, Joanne. Hey, welcome, tuning in from England, across the pond. So happy to have you. And I think Pat is here. My friend Patricia, I think, is also watching. So hi, Pat. Great to see you as well. So for those who, you guys know me, but for some people who might tune in or pop in at another point, my name's Sheila. I go as Blue Water Oracle, and I am a reader. So I read oracle cards, I read intuition, I read feelings, energy, and combine all of that to bring people information that they need to know. So I connect with spirit, I connect with soul, I connect with spirit team and the highest good of the person, so that we can really get help for them, help them to shift out of areas they might be stuck, and also to just help their lives to feel better in the moment. And so they can see where they want to step forward as well. So that's my work, and I wanted to bring that in on a full moon as the rain is pouring down outside. So it's really, as I said, one of those deep summer days here. Hi, Pat. Nice to see you. So deep summer day, pouring rain. So for a lot of people, that feels like a purification, right? Time to cleanse and release, which is perfect for a full moon. So wherever you are, whatever the weather is like, on this full moon day or evening or nighttime, and whenever you tune in, I wanted to touch base. So the moons are something that many people do feel they have a connection with. Not everyone. Some people just look at it as the big white ball in the sky, and that changes shape from a crescent to a ball to dark. But others really do feel that as it affects the energy on Earth, and we know it does because it affects things like the tide, the ocean, so we know it has an impact. Some people will notice things more to themselves, that it does impact them. And I have an online group called the Oracle Cove. It's a membership group. And what I wrote in there a little bit today was touching on that, yes, there are recommended practices for those who are interested in utilizing the full moon. But I also think that it can be great just to accentuate our own connection. So whatever we're already working on, whatever we're already connecting with, that intuitive guidance, that knowing of ourselves, that it just enhances that because the energy is a bit more intense, it's a bit more brought up, we're more aware of it, and there's more people together who are all aware of something at the same time. And that always brings up the impact that we can have as individuals and as a group. And so if there's anything that you're really working on, that you want help with, that you want guidance about, or that you are praying towards in your personal life or in world categories, this today to me is a good day to be really accentuating that. And that's so that you're utilizing this big energy and allowing it to work more for you and for the world as a whole. Okay, so that's a little bit of full moon thing. And of course, if you have crystals, if you have special jewelry, if you have oracle cards, anything that you're really using a lot as a tool, especially if it does anything like clearing of energy or cleansing for you, putting in full moon light is fantastic for that. And if it's going to be like us today, cloudy, I still believe that the full moon energy can be utilized. And so that can be something that you can put crystals in. If you know where the moon would normally be, you can still put them in that area. The moon is still coming up, even though there's clouds in between. And then you really set intention on what you would like that moon energy to help you with. If it's releasing energy or releasing clearing and cleansing that those crystals might have done for you, you don't want them to hold on to that. You want them to release. And you just set intention. You can also set intention to clear and clean your whole house, and then you can follow it up with actions or using crystals or bells or sound or saging to enhance that even more. But here we're using the full moon energy, and of course the energy isn't blocked by the walls of our house. It still has a chance to come through and have an impact, and then we bring in the intention to welcome that in. I also remember a while ago looking at, I do different readings as they come up about the full moon, and on days like today, my Facebook feed is full of stuff about astrology and the moon and practices that you can use. So one of them that comes to mind was that when you look at the full moon, or you look in the energy of where the moon would be, that you can be thankful. Gratitude is always awesome. And then you can also ask for help to release anything that isn't really serving you, or that it's time just to let it go and to move on to other things. So you can connect directly with the moon. And I believe, again, that you can do that anytime that you like. There's no specific, it has to be on the full moon. It's just accentuated. It's bigger. It's fuller, right? It's brighter for us. So I have unwrapped my Earth Magic Oracle cards. I actually have 5 decks here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I have 5 decks here. I have a new deck that I actually bought a long time ago. And so I'm getting to know it and see if we want to work together. So that's interesting. That's exciting and fun for me. So I will keep you all posted on that. And in the meantime, I have pulled out the Earth Magic Oracle cards. So this is a deck by Stephen Farmer. All of my decks, actually, the ones that I work with a lot, are all Hay House decks. Just happens to be authors that I like. So let's see what wants to come up. Okay, full moon day today and Earth Magic. So what I would ask you to do, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. So cheers to anyone who has a beverage. I don't often have coffee in the afternoon, but I felt like doing a little soy milk coffee. So just a little mid-afternoon treat, as I still have stuff to do. So a little pick-me-up. So it's kind of fun. I'm usually a tea drinker. So cheers to the tea drinkers, or anybody having water, if you're having a sangria on a summer's afternoon, whatever works for you. All right, full moon energy, the big bright moon, grandmother moon, helping us to release what no longer serves us, helping us to really recognize gratitude and to work with that. Let's all take a deep breath in together. Okay, that feels good. Let's do another one. So really deep from your diaphragm, low, and then up through. Nice. And I almost always do breath work a little bit, at least a little bit of breath work before I do oracle card readings or any kind of reading, because it centers us. It brings us out of all the busyness of what we've been doing and into the moment. And that's super important, especially if you're reading for yourself, because you want to bring all that wisdom and that guidance into your moment. You don't want it to be stuck in the busyness. All right, so full moon day, Sunday, it is August 26, 2018, around 5 p.m. my time. And I know there's a few people from Europe here, from Britain and Europe. So hello, welcome. So happy to have you. And I hope you're having a great night, heading into nighttime. Okay, so here's the card. Oh, a lot of energy. Okay, so let's see what this card is. Ah, it's a card. So I had this recently in a reading, so it kind of makes sense to me that it would come up. A reading I did for somebody else. So it's a fire card. It's the passion card. And it's interesting because I was just watching, I have Netflix here. So some of you know about Netflix. It's basically an on-demand television version that you can get all different types of shows. And I just put on, it's a cartoon, it's a kid's cartoon. It's called Avatar, The Last Airbender. And I've seen about it for years. There was a movie that came out as well. And so I just started to watch it. I do love television, a little bit of a guilty pleasure. And of course, in the beginning, it's the impressions of the fire group, that the fire group are bringing in more passion. They're bringing in more battle. They want to control stuff. So it's interesting that we would get an element for the first card today, okay, around the fire. So that's what it makes me think of. But of course, when we look at passions, we look at what is coming up from the depths of our being. What things are we paying attention to? What are we allowing to speak in our life? And how are we helping ourselves to recognize and to honor those passions? And those passions could be on anything. So for example, for myself, this is the work that I'm doing working with spirit and cards and psychic gifts and all of that is a passion of mine. It has been for quite a long time, even though I did other work in terms of my work career. It doesn't have to be your work. So what feels as though it's coming through is to make people aware and to allow anybody who might be touched by this to know that, yes, your passion may be your work, meaning that it's the majority of your time, meaning that it is the way that you make an income. But for others, it is actually going to be a side thing. It is going to be a hobby. It is going to be a pastime. It is going to be pleasurable moments that allow you to connect with that passion. And what feels as though it's coming up with this is there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So here we have the passion card, okay? And it's a big sort of fire-breathing native dancer, probably from the islands with the look of it. South Pacific, I would say. Not an expert. I would say it's probably South Pacific. But we hear a lot these days, especially if you're like me and you look up coaching stuff and life purpose and passions of work, then you see 4 million posts by a gazillion different coaches and people all about it. But I want to remind you that if that is not your work, your source of income, the majority of your day, or if it was not, there's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. That's okay. So breathe. It's okay. All right. So there's somebody who really needs to hear that. And what it's saying is just to allow, the most important thing is to make sure that at some point in your day, at some point in your week or your month, that you do allow that fiery part of you, that passion that you have, you do allow it to come up. So you need to have moments, especially if your life, your work, your income generation was not related to things that you are incredibly passionate about, then you need to give yourself that opportunity to let those passions come up. Let them have some time with you, that fiery, deep, deep energy. And you may be saying to me, I have no idea what my passions are. I don't feel fiery about much. That's okay too. That's okay. So then it would be, what makes you happy? What makes you interested in life? What gives you pleasure? What do you enjoy? That's a great way to be. It doesn't have to be all passion all the time. For some people, they are maybe given less of a choice in that the passion becomes very important in their life and becomes a very vital way to live, right? That they have to bring in that deep passion into their daily living. And for some people, I know people, myself included, that, hi Sarah, that it's really not, maybe not so optional, or the choices, the universe has kind of shifted things a little bit so that we're more in that passion work all the time. But for other people, that may not be their journey this time around, and that's okay. As long as you do make moments, as long as you do give times that you can be in that energy. All right. Now, in case you can't see, I'll try to bring it really close. So this is, I guess he's a fire dancer. He would be, as I said, it looks like he's probably South Pacific kind of islands with that clothing and the grasses around it. But he's also in fantastic shape. Okay. He's very physically fit, very strong. And if you've ever seen them do the different dances, they are very fit and very strong. And because they represent often that warrior energy. So 2 things come up with that. One is, how are you doing with your physical body? I'm waiting. So how is the physical body doing? How is your connection with your physique, with your physical body? How is it working for you? Are you respecting it? Is it working well for you? Are you bringing it in the requirements that it needs in terms of nutrition and exercise and downtime? So this feels as though for some people, it's a really important recognition and reminder to take care of that physical body. It is not all about only spirit all the time or only passions all the time. You have to take care of that physical body, okay? And so I like the little faces, little emojis, very cute, that are coming up about the different impressions people have on their physical body. So yeah, you have to take care of it. So that's one part. So if you find that you've fallen off a little bit with maybe nutrition or exercise or listening to the physical body, then this would be a great invitation to get back into that. And I think a way to do that today with the full moon is to try to ask to work on, not necessarily try, but ask to work on, to set intentions towards releasing bad habits. So habits that are not helping, or to start up something new. And again, at the beginning, I talked about how you can ask the full moon, grandmother moon, if you like to speak about her like that. You can ask to have support in these projects, to ask for help in these projects. And you can also ask for that intention around your home if there are certain areas. Hi, Donna. Nice to see you. So if there are certain areas around your home that are not supporting these good habits that are necessary for your physical body care, then you can also set intention to clear, to clean, to work on those areas as well. But then with this card, with the strong dancer, we also get that warrior energy. Okay? And in this sense, it is not coming through to me as a warrior in the sense of a battle, going to war. It is a card that represents the warrior in the sense of that fiery need from within, that need to be respected, to take care of yourself, and that as you do that, you contribute greatly to your life, to the lives of those who are very close to you, and to the greater perspective of the world. So that warrior energy, that true honored warrior, yes, there's protection, yes, there's taking care of things, but it's also that interconnection between the one person and the whole. All right? It feels like that classic warrior would not have been representing all for one. It would have been one for the all. Okay, so we got a good Musketeers kind of feel going on there. All for one for all. All right, Musketeers, love them. So this is that kind of reminder there, okay, of that. So how does that feel? That was our fire passion card. Okay, so bringing up the passion plus the body care plus the warrior stuff. So we've got that. Now, let me see. What do we want to do? I have these cards. That was the only deck I unwrapped, so the other ones have to figure out whether they want to play. Oh, I'm getting the gateway ones. So I have them wrapped in silk. Most of my decks like to be wrapped in silk, although the newer ones seem to have a different plan. Somebody gave me a deck, so they like to stay in their box so far, although I did get them a nice little cotton tartan bag to put the box in. So these are the Gateway Oracle cards, all right, by Denise Lynn, one of Denise Lynn's 4 decks, I believe she has now. I have 3 of them. I think she has 4 now. So continuing on in our full moon reading for today. And if you're just jumping on, welcome. Love to have you. Thank you for coming on. We're doing general readings today, full moon energy on a Sunday or a Monday, depending on where you are. So take a deep breath, all right? What's going on? What do you need help with? What are you asking for? What are you asking for clarity on? You know, in those deep moments where you're by yourself, you're really touching base with you, that wise, caring part of you. You're maybe touching base with spirit, wanting to be connected, wanting to be supported, and to be doing good work on behalf of yourself and the world. So what comes up with all that? As I talk, the card comes up. So, nice. All right, so we got the Awakening Ancient Wisdom. Now I'm having a deja vu moment. So I have a feeling that somebody on the call, we were on a live like this, and we got this card that came up previously. I may be wrong. It might have been in an individual reading, but I'm pretty sure it was a group reading. Sorry, just going to take a sip. Cheers. Anybody? Health to you. All right, so Gateway Oracle cards. Moving forward, ancient, awakening ancient wisdom. And I'll just put a little bit closer so you can see it. So it's a big rock wall, as if you were in one of those old castles with these deep walls, deep windows. It is what looks like a golden chalice that's jeweled with this ancient wisdom kind of flowing out of it. And then the affirmation is, deep inner knowing is emerging within me. Deep inner knowing is emerging within me. So what was those clarity questions that you were pondering? Was there anything that you thought of? I know what I would think of for myself, and this is a lovely answer for me. So usually when I do the group readings, I get some too. So it's so I thank you for your energy coming in. I'm just going to scroll down and see. Sarah, yeah, ooh. Sarah does the big ooh comment. So yeah, awakening ancient wisdom. Okay, so it feels specifically that if you think about, okay, it's this Sunday, it's the end of the day for most of us in Canada, sort of mid-afternoon, late afternoon, heading into the evening. If you've been thinking about clarity, you've been thinking about those deep questions and what would be rolling through, what would be the question that you were asking, or the questions? Now look at it from the awakening ancient wisdom perspective, from the deep inner knowing is emerging within me. And what I would suggest that you do, because of course as a group reading, I don't get everybody's details for privacy, as well as just that's not the way that they always work. Sometimes I do, sometimes I get exact details, but this one feels very general. So it feels as though it's allowing you and inviting you to get some reflection time. So if the card did a reaction like it did for Sarah, where you went, ooh, that's interesting, I would suggest that you make some notes. So if you don't have paper and pens around, you might have your smartphone where you can make some notes, some reflection points on what is coming up, okay? That deep inner knowing emerging within you, awakening ancient wisdom. You have that wisdom within you, and it is supported around you and brought to you. So it's a combined effect, okay? And then we have this flow. It's a very flowing energy. So if you look again at this beautiful cup, this chalice or wine glass, golden in color, you've got this flowing energy flowing out of it. It looks almost a bit like wisps of hair. So this would be a flowing type of energy. So if you're thinking about it, if you're thinking about the clarity and it's like you're hitting the wall and it's stuck and you can't get to it, take a breath, back up a little bit, okay? Back away from that, because this is a very flowing feel. So it may be something you already have a sense of. It may be something that when it comes into you feels very comforting, very supportive, very interesting to you. Okay? If it feels very harsh and like you're hitting a wall, then I would almost say, are you forcing it? Are you pushing and pulling something instead of allowing it to flow? This feels very flow. Okay, so a different feel than this fiery passion warrior. Doesn't mean that the two cannot be combined. They're just phases of something. Okay, so awakening that ancient wisdom. And this is also coming in the context of a window within a deep wall. So if you feel as though you've been hitting the wall, if you feel as though everything is wall, 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 then what you're looking for is that wee little window, that opening where that ancient wisdom is whispering to you, is flowing into your life through you and to you. Okay? So this is soul connection. This is spirit connection. This is higher self connection. All right? Sarah says, I am beautiful. I have to sign up. Okay, have a great dinner. Thank you. I'm glad that you came. Yeah, just watch later for sure. I'm glad that you popped on. I'm always appreciative. Anybody who pops on, I'd love to hear from you and to say hi and to hope that some of these words and the cards resonate with you and are interesting and helpful to you as always. All right, so if there's that wall, if it feels like you're banging up against something, in whatever that question was, whatever that clarity you were looking for, if you were banging into something, then you're looking for that window, and that window is going to feel where stuff flows. It's easier. It's not as harsh and as intense. So really just let it, oh no, sorry, Sarah, don't even worry about it. When you see this later, don't be sorry. Enjoy your supper. Family time, very important. Patricia's doing a big happy face, which is great. So, okay, so don't go for that wall. Look for the window, and the window is where things are going to flow. All right. So I feel like, I know I don't want to be on too long, although it goes so fast, and I love doing it. And of course, you're welcome to get in touch if you need something one-on-one, personal, if this is bringing up stuff that maybe you need help shifting or you need help to understand what's going on. That's what readings do. That's how they're important and helpful. It's not overriding your own knowledge and intuition and wisdom. It's working with it. That's what readings, to me, should be. They're working with what you already know. So we're going back to the Earth Magic Oracle cards for what I think is the last card on this full moon Sunday. Wishing you well, wishing you beautiful guidance and release of what you don't need. Okay. There we are. Okay. So I'm sorry you can't see the shuffling unless I do it really high up. So it's the top card here. Okay. So we have the Volcano card, the Volatility card. Now, this is often a card when I pull it that people go, oh no, volcano. So I will say that there's at least two factors in this, two layers. And I get that when I do readings, that I get layers related to the cards. So first layer, if I continue this story of what we've been doing with these cards so far, is what is a volcano? A volcano is very old, very, very, very old, okay? And it also has that deep, fiery lava, deep, fiery, molten lava that is deep within the land, in that pocket, okay? And it comes up. So it spews up through the volcano and then, of course, does whatever it does when it's outside. So if we look at the context of the three cards, the first one today, fire, passion, coming up from deep within, something to recognize, something to be aware of. This is not, you do not have to be afraid when this passion comes up in the sense of your own joy and pleasure with your passion, things that interest you, things that you want to honor and learn about and be a part of. It is coming up as a volcano, not so that you're worried about it, but just so that you recognize this is coming up from deep within you. So allow it. It's okay. It can be part of this passion. All right. And in that sense, it would be feeling good. It would be feeling helpful to you. It might bring on a little bit of excitement nerves or a little curiosity that you're not sure about, but it should feel hostile and negative. Okay. And then we said volcanoes, very, very old, right? I don't even know how old, but I know they're very, very old. In the perspective of a human life, they're extremely old. Awakening ancient wisdom. And look, isn't it sort of coming out, flowing out from the chalice, from the cup, flowing out from the depths of the earth? Okay, similar things, just from different perspectives. What I think that this Volcano card is also bringing up is that when people are not supported in a passionate journey, when they are not aware that they have desires and wants and knowledge that can come up within them, it can be scary and it can be overwhelming. So my suggestion with this is to surround yourself with at least some people, if it's not in person, then online, who get it, who get that there are other factors within our world, not just humans living a human life, but that there's knowledge that has been passed on. There are passions that come up for reasons that we don't always understand. Give yourself some support within that. Ask questions, find answers from people who seem supportive and logical in the broad perspective of whatever these questions are, and that people who you can discuss things with who are open and not going to be immediately judgmental. And that takes off that volatility, because it gives you that chance to say, this is what I'm experiencing, or this is what I'm thinking about, or this is what I'm passionate about. What do you think? Could I spend a half a day on the weekend exploring this and playing with it? Why not? But if you have everybody in your entourage saying, no, you can't talk about that, we don't accept it, or no, you can't explore that knowledge, or you can't do that fun thing that you're interested in, then you may find that you're actually trying to put a lid on a volcano. And then it gets more volatile. Then it gets harder for you to just enjoy your life and experience it, because you have this passion and this knowing that wants to come up that is saying, don't forget about me. Okay? And as much as some humans don't have this big passion, as we talked about at the beginning, that they need to be involved in all the time, sometimes there's something that comes up that this system, your body system, which includes mind, body, soul, energy, is not really giving you a choice. And you'll be curious, you'll be interested, it wants to come up. And that's where the more that you have some support to help you with that, the easier it will be on you and the more enjoyable it will be. The other part of this Volcano card, and if you follow my Facebook page, you'll see that periodically I put on information about world events, climate events, weather events. And that's because I do believe that we can pray and help and send intentions and work together for the energies for others. Of course, if you can be a live help to help people in those areas, or a financial help by donating time, energy, supplies, I hugely encourage that. If you're able to do it from an energy perspective only, great, good. Why not? I think it's awesome. So here we have the Volcano card. And I know that through some contacts of mine on the world of Facebook, the dimension of Facebook, that there were some very intense times going on in Hawaii with volcanoes and fires and hurricanes. I also know that Western Canada has a lot of forest fires. I'm presuming there are areas in Western United States that do as well, and probably Australia, with the intense droughts that places are having. So while you're in this full moon energy, while you're using this connection with this beautiful, big, bright moon, whether you can see it or not, I would ask you, if you're willing to put some intentions for balance and nurturing on these places that are suffering. Can also be places that are in that volatility of war, in that volatility of human behavior as well. Put it in there. And it doesn't mean that you know the answers. It just means that you are saying, okay, as humans, as energy, as a world, we do have a lot of resources and we do have a lot of answers. So let's request help from the universe, help from the world, from the energy, and from each other's energies to try to balance some of these things out. And remember to always put guidelines. You don't have all the answers, but you can put certain guidelines. So you don't want it to rain enormously in somewhere that hasn't had rain in years. You want it to be a nurturing, helpful, gentle, supportive rain that helps the balance to return. The same thing if it was a major hurricane, we want the winds to calm down. We don't want there to be no wind necessarily, we just want things to calm down. So always try to say these suggestions. You can add in for the highest good of all. You can add in for the balance of nature, the balance of human with nature dynamics. So those kind of things can come in and be helpful. Okay, so if you can use that full moon energy, we've done some of it here. So we are looking and asking for rain to come in places that are in extreme drought, gentle, nurturing, just enough to start the process of healing, to start the process of growth, just enough to calm down some of the forest fires that are happening. And this is for the highest good. So if there's a very important reason that those fires are happening that we don't know about, we understand it might be for the best, but we don't know that. Same thing with volcanoes. If the volcano is indicating something to us, then help us to understand it. Otherwise, we ask that they calm down again so that life and humans and balance is easier. Okay? Same thing for anywhere, absolutely. Same thing for anywhere that is under war, strife, human battle, human interactions that is not in balance, not for the highest good. That we help people to reject selfishness. On this full moon day, we help people to reject or we ask that people start to look at a bigger picture, not only for personal gain, personal money, but really trying to help each other and to understand and learn more. We don't know what we don't know, but we can try to learn and understand and to broaden our perspectives. So we had Fire Passion card. The Fire Passion card, let me bring it up. We had the Awakening Ancient Wisdom, which is deep inner knowing is emerging within me. And then we had the Volcano card, which tied in with the passion, tied in with that flowing up of this ancient knowing. And then we did, as often happens with me, we touched on the environment and weather situations and world situations that are playing. So if you know of world situations, if you are thinking about areas that are having weather challenges or human challenges, I invite you to make a note of them. If you don't want to write them down, just put a little symbol or put a letter, and we'll know that's just because you're thinking of stuff, okay? There is a little emoji that's a full moon, so you could just put a little full moon. I think it has a happy face on it, and we'll know that we're all thinking together, okay? So, full moon energy, Sunday, August 26th. This is Sheila Bicknell, otherwise known as BlueWater Oracle. And I invite you to follow me on Facebook. I also have a YouTube channel where I do put some of these videos. So if it's somebody who you know is not on Facebook, then they can go and see my readings and my videos on my YouTube channel. I haven't done a live on YouTube yet, but at one point I will. I also have a website, BlueWater Oracle, which is going to be going through some updates. But I do have a blog and post section where people can see some of my writings and my written readings. And of course, you're welcome to get in touch for personal readings. So we can do it by Skype, by telephone, by email, text in Canada as well. I can do it on Messenger. And they're really to help you move forward. They'll help you to increase that connection with your soul, your highest good, so that we can read what's going on to bring you what you need to know for a happier, healthier, better life. Okay? Sheila Bicknell, BlueWater Oracle, wishing you all the best. Full moon blessings. And I thank you for your time and for spending some time with me on your Sunday. All the best. Wishing you well. Take care. Bye. Till next time. Have a great rest of your weekend and a good start to your week. All the best.